Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier In The Air. For those of you who are the first time watching the show, welcome. I hope you enjoy the show. Please, if you want to, please always provide feedback or likes or comments or suggestions. I take it all in. I take a look at it and see what I can change going forward. So this is season 4, episode 16. I have a good show for you today. I have, as usual, our Trashy Hood. We have our Zen Moment. We also have Healthy After 50. And then I have a very special Spirit Time as I do a little throwback to my time when I was doing just beer reviews out in the garage. So let's get right to it and go with Trashy Hood. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood, Week 40. Hey everybody, welcome to week 40 of Trash in the Hood. I can't believe it's been 40 weeks since I've been walking and picking up trash in my neighborhood. But this is day 1, and it's hard to tell, but there's a big piece of cardboard underneath everything. And then there's the normal wrappers and straws and beverage lids and cigarette butts and chainsaw lube container there in the middle left, which was interesting to find, along with a lot of cigar packets, not Swisher Sweets surprisingly, but a bunch of other things. So it was really a quite interesting walk on day 1. So going into day 2, little bit differences. We see some mini liquor bottles, some vape pen cartridges, some vape pens, the cigarette butts, candy wrappers, water bottles, Gatorade bottles, a bunch of wrappers and pieces of paper and metal, and a sock, a wet soggy sock too, and then some more cigar packets, which I was very interested because I hadn't really been seeing a lot, but I guess week 40 was for cigar packets. So day 5 was cut short as a torrential downpour came, so we didn't get to go as far as we like to. However, you see there's a big plastic bag that was wrapped around a fire hydrant by the wind, really strong winds out there. So a couple of bottles and a can and some tissue and a straw, which there always seems to be straws when I'm out walking. But it was a short but interesting pickup for week 40. So there you have week 40 of Trash in the Hood. So like I mentioned in the voiceover, really excited and weirded out, whatever you want to call it, that I've been doing this for about 40 weeks now. So 12 more weeks and I've been walking for about a year now throughout the hood picking up trash. So I've been walking a little bit longer than that, but I started making it a concerted effort to pick up trash in my neighborhood, to get out there, try to go at least 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more. I'd like to get more, but life has its own way of getting into things. And I've been getting a lot of good feedback. I also post the images on Nextdoor, not to shame anybody because I don't take pictures of the houses, but I do kind of shame the streets, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'll talk about the streets that I'm on Nextdoor, but I don't talk about anybody's house. Plus, for those of you who were concerned, I think I mentioned this last week, I don't go onto private property. I only pick up the trash that I'll see on the sidewalks, in the street, or that grass between the sidewalk and somebody's property. So that grass strip is public property. That's why you can't place any voter signs or anything like that on that. The city will tell you to pick it up because it is considered city domain property. So it's not actually your property, and even if you don't have a sidewalk, those first 18 inches are basically considered the city's. But I won't go on to anybody's property that doesn't have that strip, because then I'm not on their property. So thanks for asking, and stay safe out there if you are walking. For those of my friends that do get out and walk and occasionally will pick up trash, try to be more mindful of where you're walking. Stay away from driveways, stay away from people in cars even, which I hate to say in this day and age, but that's how it goes. If you don't know the person in the car, definitely give it its space to the point where they know that you're coming up on them if you're coming from behind. or give them some space as you're walking toward them, so they understand you're not going to open their car door or attack them or do something like that that could get them to respond in some sort of aggressive, violent way. Okay, so for those of you who are wanting to start, I have a couple of people on Nextdoor that reached out to me. Best thing to do, if you want to just get out and walk, then just get out and walk. If you don't want to pick up trash, you don't have to pick up trash. I don't care. It would be nice if you did, but if you don't, then you don't. That's up to you. If you do want to pick up trash, I recommend a grabber, a sturdy bag. You can get a trash bag, a plastic trash bag, and then throw it out every time. If you're not going to do like I do and stick it out. So a bag of some sort, let's put it that way, and then a good pair of sturdy work gloves. You want to be mindful if there's any glass. I haven't come across any syringes, but if you're in a neighborhood that you may come across those, a good pair of work gloves will help you out. Don't grab it at all. In fact, I would either grab it and throw it into a container using the grabber, or if you're really concerned about it, I would not pick it up. We want to be safe out there. We don't want to get pricked by syringes or anything like that. I try to avoid glass as well. I will pick it up because I've used the grabber long enough, and I'm also cautious enough when I use gloves to make sure that no sharp pieces are going to stick me. Also, I won't pick up organic material, and you know what that means. There's plenty of empty poo bags that I'll pick up because they're just flying around because people pull out 3 or 4 and then realize they only want one and they leave the rest on the wayside, or it just gets blown out of their pockets. So, grabber, which you can get on Amazon or somewhere for like $7 to $10, a sturdy bag of some sort, especially if you're going to be carrying it in your hand. Again, be aware of glass and syringes and stuff like that. And then a pair of gloves. Some people even recommend a pair of latex gloves or some sort of synthetic glove underneath the work gloves, just to be on the safe side. I don't go as far as that because I've been doing this long enough that I know how to avoid things. I would always recommend washing your hands, probably your face too, just to be on the safe side after every garbage picking, if you don't immediately jump in the shower. So that's it for Trash in the Hood for this week. Let's go ahead and get into I think we're going to get into our Zen Moment, and then we'll go into Healthy After 50, and then we'll go into Spirit Times. So here's our Zen Moment for the day. Picture the sky as your life goes on and by. Doesn't change, and yet it does. For change is inevitable for all of us. What we once thought our life was could be something else by the end. You may lose some and you may gain some friends, that is. You may have a friend that has been with you for life, through the good times and the strife, and together you can look up and picture the sky. So there's our Zen moment for the day, for the week. And by the way, welcome to the last day of April. May turns the page tomorrow. And let's see if the April showers brought May flowers. It probably bringing more May showers, by the way. So, real quick before we get into the Healthy After 50, I think I've carved out a little time. So, gardening. If you are a gardener and you live in my neighborhood, or you don't live in my neighborhood, and you'd like to show off either what you started to plant, if it's something unusual for you, you can send us a picture of the seeds along with your garden, and I'll get it on the show. If you are already in the process of harvesting things, send me a photo or a video, and I'll get it on the show. I know my neighbors, the Pavlovskis, are fantastic green thumbs. They are Mr. Green Jeans and Mrs. Green Jeans. They are growing fantastic stuff over there, which is only two doors down, and yet I can't seem to get that much to grow in my garden this year. I have one plant and then four strawberry plants, and the strawberry plants are struggling. So we'll see what happens to them. Nothing else seems to be growing yet. And I planted like a month ago or 2 months ago almost now. But if you have a garden and you'd like to show it off, please send me pictures and or video. If you mention Javier in the Air in the video, I think that'd be really cool. You don't have to, you don't win anything for it, but it would be really cool anyway. Tell us what you're growing, and especially if you're doing something unusual. I am trying to grow some yellow alpine strawberries. I think it's a little bit too hot now, but I planted them like a month ago, and they're the same height. I don't know what may be going on. I'm gonna have to see if I can get some Miracle Grow and see if I can boost them along, or at least get something out of them. If you've planted yellow alpine strawberries before, send me your comments or hints about it. Anything you're passionate about and you'd like to be on the show so you can show it off your talent, please let me know and I'll get you on the show as well. Gardening, anything else really, you're a mom and pop business and you'd like to be on the show. I don't reach a lot of viewers yet, but I do reach plenty of viewers in my neighborhood. So if you're in my neighborhood and you'd like to show off your mom and pop business, by all means, let me know. I'll get you on the show. Okay, so let's go now into our. Oh, by the way, the music. Another tangent. Sorry about that, people. The music that I have on the show today is AI generated. So it's something new that Wondershare from Mora has been doing, and I like both of them. So I'll give you the names later on. But let's go into our Healthy After 50. Hey everyone, welcome to Healthy After 50. So I didn't get to film anything this week to show off some exercises that we can all do for people after 50 who perhaps are not as agile as they used to be, they're not as nimble as they used to be, and there'll be some good eye-hand coordination. Or actually it'll be more than eye-hand coordination, it'll be a lot of other things. So, however, today I want to talk about finger dexterity. So some of you may be coming across issues, like I know I have, where your fingers are not as dexterous or are have as much dexterity. There you go, in them as you used to. So this is something you can do while you're watching TV, sitting on the couch, even while you're reading. If you have a book reader where you can read the book while you are doing these exercises, and you don't have, so you're not holding the book itself. So there's a couple of different things you can do. One of the things is grip strength, where you get a weight that you hold on to. I like to use kettlebells because that's what I have. So, and they're heavy, so they also help extend the wrist as well. You can stand while you're watching TV and have them by your sides. You can have weights that you hold and you have them by your side as well. And try to grip them as firmly as you can for as long as you can. Time yourself. After a couple weeks, see if you can increase that time. So one of the things you also want to do is for dexterity, to try to make sure that your fingers are still as active as they can be. You want to count your fingers using your thumb. So I don't know if hopefully the mic didn't pick it up, but I always count 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that, though it doesn't seem like it's much, can be quite a bit for people that have hand issues. If you have hand or wrist issues, I don't recommend doing any weight unless you've been told by your OT or your physical therapist, depending on which one you go to, that will tell you how to do those exercises. So if you have potential carpal tunnels, or you have issues where your muscles, your tendons are atrophying and you're having those kind of issues, these may help, but I highly recommend that you get exercises from your PT or OT, which I'm sure will give you exercises. I don't get into any of that, so it's just really up to you. These are just exercises to make sure that your hands stay as limber as possible. If you have a I wish I had one here, but I don't. If you have a racquetball, you want to do your squeezing with the racquetball as well. As you can see, just squeezing like that will work the arm muscles. If you see the other side, you can almost tell which arm is my dominant arm. It is this one right here. So great exercises to stretch your fingers out. Stretch them out as hard as you can, which I know doesn't seem like a lot either, but if you haven't been using your hands, this is going to come in handy. If you do any gardening at all, this is going to come in handy. If you do any writing, which I know for younger generation, what's writing, we won't go into that. Definitely, this is going to help. You want to keep your hands flat on the ground, on the table, and see if you can lift up your fingers individually. Let me show you how that works here. So see if I can get a better angle. So you have your hand out here, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're pressing your hand firmly down, and each one is down before you lift a new one. Can you do 2 fingers? Can you do 3 fingers? And then can you do 4 fingers, which is really tough because, I'm sorry, I've been not showing. Can you do 2 fingers? Can you do 3 fingers? Can you do 4 fingers? And then and those 4. So something like that is something that's really handy, no pun intended, and really good for your hand dexterity. So if you have any nerve damage, this is good for it. Even if you don't, arthritis sets in quicker than you think and does it when you're not thinking about it and you're not looking for it. And then one day you have issues with your hands and you're like, I have arthritis. I probably should have listened to Javier in the Air in the first place. So there you go. Next time we'll talk about the toes. I know I have issues with the toes. So see what we can do for exercises, and then also exercises to try to keep us limber if you're not already doing it. Now I know there's a lot of people over 50. It is not the same as 20, 25 years ago when you were 50 and older. There wasn't much you can do and everything seemed to be breaking down. But this day and age, we've gotten better. Medicine has gotten better. And so we are more active over 50 than any generation I feel prior to us, except way back in the olden days when they didn't have any of the leisures of society. So we have to try to maintain ourselves going forward. So I will show some other exercises on the upcoming weeks. And if there's anything in particular, any particular area you want to see exercise for, please let me know. And I will also see if I can get some experts on here that will be willing to just show exercises. We're not going to be troubleshooting anything. We're not going to be diagnosing anything. That is not what this show is for. The show is just to try to help you stay active. So hope everybody stay active, and let's go back to the rest of the show. All right, so there you have it, Healthy After 50. There's me getting at it, trying to come up with new and exciting ways to help us stay healthy after 50. One of the things I wanted to mention is I got some feedback on people, and as I mentioned at the end of that video, I do not diagnose anything. I am not a doctor. I have gotten certificates in the past in disciplines inside of CrossFit, which only means things inside of CrossFit. But I do know how to move a little bit, even though the body lies, or doesn't look like it, I should say. But I do know a lot. I do have a lot of background in it, and I do know a lot of people who have background in it who can tell me as well. So if you're interested in a particular exercise or something along those lines, then I recommend you let me know, drop me a line somehow on here, either on my YouTube channel, Javier in the Air, where my handle is Javier in the Air 01, or just on the YouTube channel itself, or if you have me on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, reach out to me. Also, if you have something called a phone, then you can reach to me on the phone as well. So now I have plenty of time, but I'm doing a throwback. Yesterday I did a lot of work on my yards. I was sitting down and I thought, this reminds me of the time that I was doing beer reviews for the Boutique out. Actually, more for me. It just happened I got the beer from the Boutique um, out in the garage. It was a beautiful day. It was windy, but it was in the 70s, so it was perfect to sit on the garage and have a beer. So it reminded me of the old days, so I thought I'd go ahead and record it for this show. So here we go. Here, throwback to times in the garage. Here is Spirit Times. Dark Frog Social Media presents Spirit Time. This week, Zilker Brewery's Coffee Milk Stout. So, I just want to make things reminiscent of the days when I used to do the beer review out here. So I thought I'd do this on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Look at that beautiful truck. So let's come back and see what we got here. See if I can find my glasses. I cannot, so we're gonna have to squint to freedom. Here is let's go this way. There we go. Coffee Milk Stout from Zilker Brewery. It's Coffee Milk Stout. It's only 5.0 ABV. No, 5.8 ABV. And this is from the makers of Zilker. Makers from Zilker. And it says, inspired by Cafe Cubano, our creamy American stout is brewed with hand-selected coffee beans from roasters right here in Austin. The result is a big roasty profile, well balanced with notes of chocolate, caramelized sugar, and light hints of vanilla. So obviously with a name like Zilker, they are Zilker Brewing Company, I should say, in Austin, Texas. So of course they're in Austin. It's Zilker Brewing Company. Let me guess, they're probably by Zilker. All right, opening it up. And then also, this is my Boutique 1-year anniversary glass. July 7th, 2020 is when they opened. Kind of around, shortly after that is when I started doing the beers. So, hey, more proud of you, Boutique. And I got this from them. So let's see the brew. So giving it some nice head. So you can see very golden, milky brown. You get to see my dishwasher. I'm sorry, my washing machine and dryer. Here we go. So let's see. Definitely has a nice berry, hopsy taste, smell to it, which I'm surprised. Where's the camera? I'm surprised because usually milk stouts, especially chocolate milks or coffee milk stouts, really smell like coffee strong. This doesn't have that strong coffee smell. So that's pleasant. Not bad, but pretty much all I got was foam. I think I poured a little bit too much ahead. No pun intended. Shut up, everyone. Definitely got the beer. There's some notes of a little bit of coffee to it. I don't taste the sugar or anything else, caramelized or not. But it's a good stout. It just doesn't have the flavor that I thought it would. Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and give this, camera's over here. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 6.5 thumbs up. So granted, it was really good. I liked it. It was refreshing, especially after a day of getting that long, looking as perfect as that. But it didn't have that coffee punch to it like I was coming to expect from a lot of the coffee stouts. Doesn't mean it's bad. Excuse me, and it could be that Zilker's actually doing it right. So, Zilker, since you are in Austin, I'm in Cedar Park. Why don't we talk and see if maybe we can get a tasty going at your place? My brother and I are more than willing to travel, and we'll do some tasting out there. If we hear from you, let's do it. All right, so that was the coffee milk stout from Zilker Brewing Company out of Austin. Thanks a lot, everyone. And there you have it, everybody. So I didn't realize how winded I sounded on that video. The I just come from about 4.5 hours of mowing and edging the backyard, watering the plants, uh, leaf blowing everything down, including the patio, the front porch, the driveway, the street a little, blew the leaves and grass back onto my yard, moved some stuff around the shed, and then just happened to sit down right there. So I'm not that old, but I was winded. It was a long day. Plus, I didn't have enough water, which you should always, especially as we approach, get close to, butt up against summer as we're coming into the 1st of May. We know that the dog days of summer and the late dog days of spring are going to be upon us. So if you're out there, be sure and hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Always a good thing no matter what you may feel. It's not. It is. So stay hydrated and take breaks. Unlike me being Mr. Stupid, I was out there for 4.5 hours straight. Take breaks. Drink water in between your breaks. We just need it. You're going to need it. No matter how old you are, you're going to need it. Okay, so that's it for the show. I think I made it under 30 minutes. I think it's great. Thanks to everybody for watching. If you're new, I hope you liked the show. Please let me know your thoughts and comments and suggestions and any feedback you may have. I take it all in, whether it's good or bad, especially the bad, because then I try to change things according to how bad somebody thinks something is. And so I'll keep this show will constantly morph. We're always going to have spirit times. We're always going to have talks about trash in the hood, more than likely, and we're always going to have a Zen moment. We other things may change upon necessity. Even the healthy after 50. Even though I've been getting good feedback for that segment, so I'll probably keep that segment for sure. You notice I didn't do a bottom line this time. I didn't have any good articles that got me worked up that enough to actually post. So everybody have a good rest of your last day of April, and I will see you in May. Thanks a lot, everyone.